Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on HighGroundTV. It's the 2014 National Electronic Sports Tournament, LGD Gaming versus Newbee here in a best-of-3 series for the semifinals. Winner moves on to take on LV Gaming in the grand finals here in Shanghai. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Maut. With me is F4L. How are you, man?
Sorry. I'm doing good. How are you?
You know, just woke up, actually. Not even gonna lie.
I figured that because, yeah, when the lobby was created,
there's shenanigans going on. That's all we could say. So, yeah. I'm here now, though. We're ready. We're good to go. We're into the game. Big game at that. Obviously, yesterday versus Vici Gaming, Newbee played very well to make it here. 2-0'd them, in fact, with some really solid play. If you'd like to see the VODs, by the way, those are on youtube.com/user/HighGroundTV. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, Newbee definitely played really well yesterday. I think Hao, especially in Sansheng, played really strong yesterday. Hao had an amazing performance on the Naix in the first game, and then his gyrocopter was very good in the second game as well.
Yeah. I gotta say, I love the fact that they picked the lifesteal in that first game. You and I were like, all right, yeah. We were shaking our heads. We were digging it at the time. So I was a big fan of that. Jeez, get your phone away from the microphone.
I moved it. Should be fine.
All right. Well, Centaur picked up for Newbee, and then Rubik for LGD Gaming as well. Death Prophet up for LGD's pick, and then Scarth was the first pick for Newbee. Some good choices for Newbee. It's almost like they're going against Brewmaster. That's banned out. They want to try to gank this Death Prophet, and having a Skywrath is certainly great in the early game if they can get another hero that roams and rotates well with him. I think they can take down Death Prophet with no problems whatsoever.
Yep, and Death Prophet, you know, pretty much the standard first pick, and LGD are always going to take that when it's available. And we've seen them run it with quite a few things. They ran it with the Void the other day, but it looks like they went ahead and banned that out. And they also ran it with the Tuskar, but Newbee have no desire to play against MMY's Tuskar, and I don't blame them. He plays a phenomenal Tuskar, so.
I was wondering if they were going to pick it or not this game, and well, I guess Newbee are going to not give them that opportunity. They're going to take it out immediately, and that's fine. They ban out the Medusa as well. Perhaps
yeah, kind of interesting.
Heroes,
interesting to see a first phase Medusa ban.
Is it worth it? Is the question.
I don't think I've ever seen it. Well, honestly, if you're not really scared of any other heroes, you might as well just get rid of the heroes that you don't want to play against on the side of LGD. So
that's bold. I mean, to be fair though, Newbee have played up against a lot, and they've looked good in doing so, and that's the thing. I mean, I agree with you completely. If you really don't have any other issue with any of these other heroes, like a Death Prophet, you might as well ban out the Medusa and then just give yourself a couple of good heroes as well. Now, we have Newbee. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this isn't a stand-in. Banana was there yesterday at the LAN, so I want to say
Banana's
this is him.
not playing.
He's not?
He's sick. I guess he was like in the hospital or something.
Whoa, where are you getting this information from?
Hopefully he's going to be feeling better. I want to say he's in the hospital, but I'm not 100% sure. I know that he's like really sick, so
all right. Well,
he's unable to play right now.
Hopefully he gets better, man. That's actually rough. That's really bad.
Someone told me that he was in the hospital. I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, maybe someone can confirm, but I know that he's sick and that I believe their like manager or something is standing in. It's like their every time they need a stand-in, it's always this guy, and I think he played for them recently in one of their matches that I saw. So
right. I know the Vici Gaming manager also stands in a lot as well, I believe. I'm not, at least I hope I'm thinking of the right team.
I think his name is Lin for the Newbee. So
we're going to go with that. I'll ask my contact who he is.
Pretty sure it's Lin.
But they will pick up the Ancient Apparition here for Newbee. And solid choice. Again, you've talked about this multiple times. One of the, top supports in China right now.
Yep.
For good reason.
Next to Skywrath, I would say.
Yeah.
But LGD pretty much forego the Ancient Apparition and pick themselves up the Rubik, which will most likely be handled by MMY, although Faith does also play a fantastic Rubik, but MMY, known as one of the best in the business, with honestly most of these support heroes. Like you could probably go down a list of support heroes, and most people would say MMY could be the best in China at those heroes. Like you got the Wisp, the Tuskar, the Rubik, maybe even the Lion. So
we give a
all
lot of
these
credit.
are
We give a lot of credit to FY and Fenrir as a good support duo. I think MMY is one of the, if not the best support in China.
yeah, he's definitely up there.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what LGD go ahead and pick. I think they might go with a Jakiro. Is a core this game. They ran it in a previous game with Death Prophet. I also wouldn't be surprised to see a support Zeus, as they like both of these heroes. Faith has been, and it looks like it's going to be the Ogre Magi, so probably going to see an Ogre Magi support. So it doesn't look like we're going to see Faith support Zeus today. Well, maybe not in this game.
Yeah, maybe in the second game. Yeah, maybe in game number 2 if they're behind. We'll see. Faith played that so well.
The anti-mage.
This is a great pickup coming out from Newbee. I think this is one of Hao's heroes, man. This is just a hero that you can farm up on. You can be very aggressive with later on in the game, but early you could just sit back and CS, and you should be okay for the most part. He has really good supporting cast to keep him alive. They have Centaur Stampede to help him out as well in bad and tricky situations. And, I mean, Mana Void's going to be pretty good. It's going to deal a lot of damage to all of these heroes if you can get some Mana Break going. So I think this is a good choice from Newbee. Standard almost as well.
I think it's like good and bad against the Death Prophet. Death Prophet does have the silences and tons of physical damage coming out. But at the same time, Death Prophet has an enormous mana pool. So if there's ever a point in time where the mana pool is dwindling and he gets a good Mana Void off on the Death Prophet, he can do huge AoE damage to the entire team of LGD. And LGD are going to respond by picking up the Lycan. So they're going heavy push against the Anti-Mage, and I definitely agree with this. I think there's two ways you can deal with an Anti-Mage. You can get stronger late game because Anti-Mage sort of falls off. Because he gets to his 6 items so quickly, but once he's not necessarily the hardest of carries at 6 items. So you can pick something that's better with 6 items and then you can go that route, or you can just say, you know, Anti-Mage is terrible at defending these towers until he gets 3 or 4 items, and we're just going to push into your base.
And then they pick up the Alchemist for Newbee, and this is maybe going to be a mid lane Alchemist coming in right now. And we might see Moo playing that.
Yeah, probably a mid Alchemist. And I like this Alchemist pick. I think it'll give them a lot of tower defense with the Acid Spray as well as the minus armor. And overall, just a good anti-push hero that can also tank up a bit. So I believe a strong choice. And it is worth noting that Newbee have 3 melee cores against the Death Prophets. So there's going to be a Bloodlusted Death Prophet running around at hasted movement speed against 3 melee cores. And if they aren't able to lock him down, I think this Death Prophet might have a field day.
She's going to be Bloodlusted. Her hands are going to be even bigger than they were before. She has giant hands for whatever reason. I'm not sure. It's actually frightening. 3 seconds left on LGD. They'll grab the Bat Rider as Rabbit's hero. Rabbit is actually, he's one of the best Bat Riders, I think, in the scene. Oh, no. Or what am I talking about? Wrong team. In July. Sorry. My apologies. In July, we'll pick it up. He's one of the other better Bat Riders in the scene. So we are going to jump into the game. And looking at the drafts right now, who do you favor at this point?
I like LGD's draft just a bit better. I think maybe going into the late game, I think Newbee have a better lineup because they have both the Alchemist and the Anti-Mage, which scale a bit better than the Death Prophet and the Lycan. But that being said, I'm not sure that they will have enough to deal with the Death Prophet and the Lycan in the mid game. When this Lycan gets up his book 3 and the Death Prophet has the Exorcism, it's going to be really difficult to defend these towers. So it's basically going to be how much can this Anti-Mage farm in the early game, how fast can he get his Battle Fury and start the split push, and if they can hold on to the timer that's going to be coming out for them. So
how indeed for Newbee.
Yep, how.
Yeah. Well, we're getting into the game right now. LGD versus Newbee coming out. I've been told that Newbee, the player's Lee, that's their standing currently. So excited to see how he plays out for this squad. The TI4 champion is going up against a team that Well, they just reformed recently. They've gotten a lot of really good players. Yao, the old standby, he'll be on your Death Prophet heading down the mid lane. MMY, Momo Yao playing the Rubik. Then we'll have up at the top lane, Sylar playing your Lycan with the great comb over. He looks terrible with that. We're going to see Faith on the Ogre Magi, and then down bottom, it is going to be In July on the Bat Rider. That'll be rounding out LGD's lineup. So
I didn't even know Invoker had that. That's terrible.
Oh, the comb over Lycan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the worst cosmetic I've seen. I just don't know why you would give any hero a comb over. Like, in the game, that doesn't make sense to me, but listen. You gotta do what you gotta do.
And then on the side of Newbee, we're gonna be having Hao playing the safe lane farming anti-mage. Did you say his name was Lee the stand-in?
Yes.
So Lee playing the Ancient Apparition, San Shang on the Skywrath, Mu on the mid solo Alchemist, and in the off lane we're going to have Rabbit playing the Centaur.
Yep, one of his favorite heroes, so we'll see how he pans out. It's going to be against the defensive trial of LGD, and this has some decent kill potential, although against the tanky Centaur, I'm not sure. They're going to have to get off the Fire Blast Telekinesis, plus Hal should be enough damage, so Rabbit might have to play carefully. Boots first, though, so he should be okay. Rotations on mid, that'll be probably the name of the game between these two teams. Who can get the most kills and shut down the mid? I think it's very important for both squads. But, well, one hero is tankier than the other. Mu playing the mid lane Alchemist. Not something we see too often, but still I think good when he is picked up. Acid Spray is going to keep the lane pushed out to a certain extent and also give you extra right click with the armor reduction against Yao.
He'll have a difficult time early in this lane. He'll get harassed out by the right clicks coming out from Yao, but eventually he'll just be able to constantly spam the Acid Spray, and once he gets his bottle up, he'll have an easier time in this lane.
Yeah. He's going to get 2 CS right off the bat, so not bad, not a bad start. And then why he's rotating.
And Rabbit got stuck on the cliff. I missed that.
He got cliffed. Yeah, I didn't see it either. So
oh no,
this could be awful. He's sending the courier out now, and it looks like MMY is just going to go back.
Can you get... Okay, I think
they changed it. I think you can get it now. I think you can get the TP. Yep, and Rabbit will have it. So he actually... I mean, he wastes some time, but he's going to get out, and he's actually...
So 100 gold and a minute wasted. All right. That wasn't as terrible as it could have been.
Yeah, it could have been awful, but turns out to be somewhat okay for Rabbit. And he's already going to try to pull the Centaur camp, and I think they're just trying to stop the chain pull, or I don't know what's going on. Rabbit missed the timing completely. If he was going for the pull, Rabbit's coming in, and MMY's trying to zone him out. Back in the mid lane, some more Acid Spray being laid down. I want to keep my eye on top line. I think they can.
Rabbit pulled the creeps there so that they couldn't chain it to the small camp.
All right. Okay.
So now there's the double wave, so he's going to get a lot of experience. And then it looks like In July in the bottom lane is doing Bat Rider things, messing with the Newbee supports, getting a couple CS in the jungle, and he's already up to level 2.5, almost level 3 on this Bat Rider.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good time. They could. I mean, they can kill him. They have ways to do so, but it's just difficult. Top lane, top rune spot, rather. Rabbit's going to grab the bounty. MMY. Oh, he got him again. You've got to be kidding me. MMY 2 for 2, man. He gets him right on that spot where it's the edge, you know, and it pushes him up to the high ground.
Rabbit's actually just going to die here.
They have the Observer Ward. MMY is going to work. Even if he misses a couple of times, Rabbit's like, please. And MMY wants to get the first blood. He knows that the TP scroll's coming out. I think Rabbit's actually just dead. This is going to be the most anticlimactic first blood I've ever seen. Get him, MMY. Hit him. Hit him. Yeah. First blood, MMY. Gets it done with the telekinesis. What a player.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen that happen twice in one game in the early game. It's like shit.
This is why you don't give MMY Rubik, man. The guy's so good. All right. Well, he gets first blood. He also bought a TP scroll. I think it's on the courier still. Or he actually might have picked it up. It was in the stash. At least he purchased up a nice TP scroll for when he gets back to lane, so that's good. And if he gets stuck in that situation, he can always just TP again. But I think he might not contest runes as heavily anymore because of what just happened. Oh, man. Anyways, last hit chart going. 21 last hits for Sylar in the top lane. You've got 60 in the mid lane for the Death Prophet. Anti-Mage has got 19 down bottom. So House farming well, but not as well as the Lycan is. And this is good news for LGD. If they continue to get pressure, they continue
Looks
to
like there's going to be a rotation on the mid lane as Sansheng goes ahead and gives himself a solo smoke. And this is a really easy kill if Yao walks up to these creeps. Yeah, they're gonna go right now.
Yeah, concussive shot is gonna come soon. I'm waiting for it. Yao's backing up. the wave is under the tower, and you have to be very patient here from Sansheng. Meanwhile, they have the rotation from Batrider back down bottom. I'm going to keep my eye on mid for Yao. Cripstorm's going to come through. He pushes up. This might be the time to go. They're waiting. They're so patient with this. Here they go. Concussive shot is going to fly. Yao is like, I am in some trouble. Arcane Bolt. Acid Spray going to go. The Unstable Concoction going to fly. Look at the damage coming with the armor reduction. The right click and the Arcane Bolt will get the kill for Sansheng. But now the Fire Blast, the rotation, the zap from MMY, and they will grab the return kill on Moo. And now they're chasing down Sansheng. They're going to telekinesis him back. The body block is going to come through from MMY, but not nearly enough. Do they have the damage here? Concussive shot's going to go. They have no ignite. There's going to be the Chilling Touch. They have to back away. And LGD... well, it's going to be a mid for a mid.
And one thing to note is that LGD have only stacked the jungle one time for the Batrider. That being said, he is getting good experience in the offlane, but not so much farm.
Rabbit, Stomp, actually miss. Fire Blast, boom, he's done. Now they're going to take the tower.
I missed that dive attempt on the top lane.
They just went like that.
Yeah. But they're not stacking the jungle for the Batrider, so even though they're getting all of this... I mean, they're doing very well in the safe lane. And the rotations from MMY have been really solid this game. So they get the kill on the mid lane on How, but they're able to pick up Moo as a retaliation kill and also get Rabbit in this top lane, as well as getting the tower. And that's a 5-minute tower, so this Lycan is off to a really fast start, and he's going to have his Vlads at about 6 minutes. I wonder if they're going to rotate the Lycan into the jungle and then allow Rubik to have this solo lane so that he gets his blink really quickly.
I actually would like that. They could try to continue to put pressure on some of these towers here and maybe even go for a tier 2, but I think they'd rather just give the experience to MMY and give him something to work with here.
Yeah, they also want him to get level 6 as soon as possible.
Arcanes. I mean, he only has level 3, but he already has Arcanes, which I think is really solid for MMY. Now the question is, can he get that early blink that we see so often from these Rubik players in the Chinese scene? So we'll see. Moves mid. He's got a Blades of Attack. He's going for Phase Boots. Chemical Rage. Unstable Concoction getting charged. He's looking for the 6-minute rune. It's going to get thrown onto Yao. Cripstorm goes. Yao does take some damage.
There's too many people here.
He's going to pick up the double damage from... yeah, you're right. And LGD have a lead now. I mean, this is it's a pretty decent lead at 6 minutes in. I think it's, what, 2,000? Yeah, 2,000 net worth going their way. A lot of that from the tower, obviously, and a couple of kills. Hold on.
Yep.
Sansheng... the Wolves are scouting him out, yeah. So, smart play.
So Sansheng, spending a lot of time in the mid lane, he was able to get the 1 kill on the Death Prophet and stack up the Ancients a single time, but not too much being accomplished by Sansheng, as the Ancient Apparition is constantly pulling bottom, and he's up to his level 4. The level 6 on A is just very important for Newbee to get that global pressure.
That's the thing right now. I feel like, well, that's actually pretty even in terms of experience, but getting level 6 is going to be huge for the Ancient Apparition. And
it looks like they're going to smoke with Injuly, Faith, and MMY, maybe? And no, they're going to let the bat just farm up the jungle. I thought maybe they were going to smoke.
Do they stack anything else? This is stacked
No, there's
once.
just a double stack.
Yeah,
that's
a double stack, and this is stacked twice over here in the other hard camp. But I don't. That he needs a lot more than that, I think. Although he's at 700 gold, so it's not too far behind. But
he does have the Tranquils as well.
Well,
so not doing too bad if you compare it to the Centaur. It's about even between the two, although Centaur is going to have an easier time since his tower was destroyed.
Yeah.
So the lane's constantly going to be pushing towards him. How in the safe lane is up to 51 CS, so How and Sylar pretty much farming at about the same pace.
Sansheng is going to get found out here. Fire Blast, Telekinesis, the Ignite's going to go as well. Meanwhile, here comes Moo and a lot of TPs as well. The Zap will grab the kill. Now Faith getting stood up. The Exorcism is going. It is level 1, level 3 Witchcraft as well. Doing some damage, but not nearly enough. Now the Wolves are going to come in as well as Sylar. He ults up. The Stomp misses completely from Rabbit. And they're going to lose 1 hero, if not 2. Moo still has Chemical Rage, so he will be able to regen up. Sansheng TV's back towards mid lane as he does respawn. The Glyph's going to go. They want to take down this tower. How cannot come to this fight? And this is the difference that you were talking about early. They want to pressure the towers with Exorcism, with Lycan and the Wolves, and get some kills, and they're doing just that. However, they back away. They don't want to get caught out with an Unstable Concoction or a Stomp. And they don't put the tower under deny range, I don't think, anyway.
Yeah. So they do lose, let's see, they lost the Ancient Apparition and the Skywrath Mage for the Ogre. So not too terrible for Newbee since AM was farming during that whole time.
Oh, boom. Jams it in. How gets the kill with the Ancient Mage. Now looking for Yao, who's concussive shot it up, but he's phased. He's pretty quick. However, he's getting right-click down. There's no real heroes around to help out. Yeah, he's going to phase yet again. How has Blink ready to go. There's the Stampede. They can get How. Slow him down, and they absolutely will. Unstable Concoction. Going to land. They Ancient Seal him as well. Big kill coming out for How, and I thought for sure he wasn't going to get involved, but I'm wrong completely. And they get a kill. The neutral creep gets a kill on Skywrath Mage in the jungle, it looks like. Moo getting chased down. Acid Spray is up. They do have the Ignite and the Fire Blast ready to go. No mana for Ignite. They will body block. Now MY getting blinked on. He might fall here. Unstable's going to go. They do have the Medallion coming out as well. I believe that is Lycan's Medallion. He's looking for How. He's actually out of blink mana. How can't blink away. He's going to get chased down. Siler really wants this kill. He has no ult for another 30 seconds, and How is going to blink away, and they won't be able to secure the kill. Big fight for Newbee, turning this around. Wow.
Yeah, really good rotation from How. And How, probably known as one of the most aggressive carries in China, showing that he will fight on any hero that he's given, even on this hero that is usually not, usually this hero just farms until he gets his battle fear, but he says, I'm going to get my treads and my perseverance, and then I'm going to come fight. And he gets pretty much a solo kill on MMY, and then transitions. They kill the Death Prophet, and then MMY TP's back and he dies again. And AM is able to survive.
This is the problem with Rubik. If he doesn't get level 6, and I mean, he doesn't make plays happen. I mean, he's squishy enough that he'll die very easily. He's paper thin. We talk about that with a lot of heroes, but again, LGD, they picked a support that's, I think, a bit of an issue here. I mean, MMY will get some stuff done, assuming he gets to level 6 soon, but they've got to be careful now. Yao's going to go back mid, and he is level 8 still, so he does have max Witchcraft at this point, but only level 3 Cryptswarm. He needs to get to that level 11, and then all of a sudden they can start fighting a bit more aggressively, and they can start pushing down towers. Smoke of Deceit from LGD. What can they find? Rabbit, you better look out, buddy. He's so close to his Blink Dagger. If he dies here, he might lose a lot of money. We're going to see. They're going to run right in.
He's going to die.
In July,
is he going to get the Blink first?
Blink?
Oh, he might get the Blink.
He did buy it. He got it. All right, it's good. He's fine. Fire Blast is going to go. I mean, he does go down, but at least he purchases up the Blink Dagger. Ooh.
And that's a 11-minute blink on an offlane center that was really struggling, so a very good timing for the center. Batrider also has his blink. It looks like they're going to go ahead and start Roshan. Siler starts that with the Medallion of Courage Rush.
Oh, this is falling quick, too.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get it.
Yeah, this is not an issue. How could maybe blink in blindly and try to go for Roche Steal, but no. He's putting pressure on the bottom tower. His Battle Fury plus Treads is going to be done, I think, maybe 14 minutes into the game. So again, we have another great How performance coming out from and now it just comes down to how much pressure can LGD put on after the Battle Fury is acquired. What can they get done in these next couple of minutes? And we'll have to wait and see, because Newbee are playing a pretty solid game in their own right. Again, Rabbit has such a good time in this off lane. This guy is, again, we've talked about it, one of the best up-and-coming players in terms of the off lane. And he's played so well in these past couple of months, whether it was for Newbee or LGD. He was the driving force behind LGD doing as well as they did at TI4, I think.
Yeah. He was playing a carry, then they sort of run him sometimes as a carry on this Newbee lineup. Yes. They sort of don't really have a dedicated offlane player. They just sort of all play heroes. And honestly, I think that's a style that a lot of teams have started recently anyways.
I think, yeah, it's a new trend, but it's a trend that's been going on. Lasso's going to be going. Sanshan getting caught out of position. He goes down. So they grab the tier 1 tower. They grab a kill. How's Invis? MMY, I think, might just die here. Maybe he can steal Blink and he'll be okay.
No. He'll just instantly steal How's Blink if How shows himself.
Exactly.
So. And they're going to go ahead and pop the Exorcism.
It's getting charged. They're going to throw it. That'll be on Yao. Look at that damage coming in the acid spray. And the Blink stop. It does so much damage. Moo getting chased down now. Here comes Siler. The claw is going to work, but he's got to run away. How decides not to use his mana void there, and they will let him go free. And, yeah, I mean, Death Prophet is just showing how squishy she is. Does Moo have a Medallion? He absolutely does. Medallion, Acid Spray, Unstable Concoction. That's a dead Death Prophet, man. That's a dead a lot of heroes.
So Acid Spray minus 7 armor plus 6 on a 5 armor Death Prophet.
Oh my god.
So he was at -8 armor, and I know that I've heard Owie talking about how the negative armor actually isn't being calculated correctly in Dota 2, and it's not as effective as it should be, like when you get beyond 0.
Yes.
But still, I mean, he took so much damage from that unstable concoction on top of the acid spray.
Two-thirds HP loss with that one unstable concoction, I think. So
that was pretty insane.
It's ridiculous. And I can't, if that's not correct, I'm scared to see what is. LGD Firefly maybe going to come up. They have a Blink Dagger. They're ready to go. Almost as his 4-staff.
Both teams are smoking.
They're looking for how. Firefly, Blink, Lasso is going to go. Can they get the kill? Big stomp from Rabbit. And they're going to use the ultimate as well. How now getting brought. Can they get the kill? There's going to be the Ignite as well. How is going to take a spill. The Telekinesis in the Fire Blast. Secure the kill. Injulight gets it done. Ancient Apparition Ice Blast does a lot of work. Rabbit, now he's going to have to Stampede away. He's trying to Blink as well. He picks up the Bounty Rune. And he's going to be fine. That Stampede saves his life, but he couldn't use it for the Anti-Mage. So they do pick up a big kill on and how he goes down. But they're going to keep going bottom, actually.
Yeah, I think LGD are going to pressure the bottom lane again. They really want to limit the amount of space that Anti-Mage is allowed to have. So whenever they see Anti-Mage, they're going to send 2 or 3 heroes to his lane, possibly even 4, push out the lane, and then pressure whichever tower in the vicinity of where he's farming, just to force him to the other side of the map. And the more times you can do that before Anti-Mage gets his Battle Fury, the better your chances of winning the game are. Once he gets his Battle Fury, it's not really a big deal if you force him away, but...
He is going to... I thought it was going to be 14 minutes, but that gank puts him back a bit. And he's going to get it maybe pretty... Unless he dies here, Telekinesis is going to go. They will have Silence, Exorcism going. There's the Fire Blast, and Hao gets blown up again, and he dies. He's down for 36 seconds. Is LGD going to take a game 1 out from underneath Newbee? We'll see. The defending champs, they TP move in. I guess it's still early, but...
These gank timings on Hao are just amazing from LGD. I mean, they found him 2 times when he's 200 to 300 gold away from his Battle Fury.
That's probably the most frustrating thing in the world, when you're that close to your main item.
And it's really easy to tilt, honestly. It affects your mentality. If you keep dying when you're so close to your item...
Rabbit getting lasted up. Here comes Sylar, the man. He's on a tear, literally. They grab 1 kill. The Ancient Apparition Ice Blast does a little bit of work and pushes him back, but again, they get another kill here. Now Yule Scepter is done for the Death Prophet, so DP's coming back into her own. Yao has Exorcism. It is on cooldown. They don't take the Tier 2 tower bottom. They don't put any pressure on the Tier 2 mid. They just get a couple of kills. So they don't transition anything with Hao in terms of getting, you know, a tower off the back end of that gank, so...
Do you know if, so Lycan, when he's in Shapeshift, he gets 650 movement speed.
Yes.
Bloodlust gives increased movement speed. Can he increase beyond 650, or is he capped at 650?
I want to say 522 is the max, so I don't think you should be able to go past 650.
But I
mean,
know
guess
that
we'll find out later.
Heroes like that are capped, that are like uncapped from the 522 can sometimes just surpass... So I'm not actually
like the next level of Super Saiyan for Sylar.
I want to say he can't go beyond 650, but they're gonna make it go on Sylar, and it looks like he's just gonna fall.
Yeah, he's dead. He had his Aegis expire right before that gank. That was just really good gank timing from Newbee.
Yeah.
Coming out, so they pick up a kill, and that's Sylar not farming anymore. He had a level 1 Necro book as well flying out, so he really wants to get to 2 and 3, but that'll stop him from doing so. So, I mean, yeah, maybe. Maybe it's going to be 650.
Don't
maybe
think,
chat knows.
I think it's just 650.
All right, I opened up chat. That was a mistake.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of Russian.
It's a lot of anarchy. Yeah, exactly. Anarchy's going on right now in chat, but that's okay. If only I had a mod. Meanwhile, rotation's back from Yao, and he's going to be in the mid lane. Crypt swarming it up.
Yeah, and it's very difficult for Anti-Mage to farm on the map right now safely, because they have so many ways to initiate on him. They can use the Rubik Lift, the Batrider Lasso, even the Fire Blast coming out from the Ogre, and then they can just chain their silences and disables on him for an easy kill. And he doesn't have much survivability at the moment. Only about 1000 HP when he's on his Strength Treads, and it looks like he's going to be going for the Vlad's next.
He wants to fight early. He's not going to go for that early Manta style to maybe split push or something, or try to take down towers. This will keep him alive a bit more, but... I don't know, if he gets lassoed and they don't have yours there to help him out, he might just die. So he's got to stay with his team, I think. What? I kind of feel like maybe a Slark for Hao would be okay in this position instead of the Anti-Mage, but I don't know. That's just because I've seen a lot of Slark recently, and I think that hero is ridiculous.
Well. I think AM's a better split pusher than Slark because he does damage to buildings. Once Slark gets to the building, he's not as good as Anti-Mage. Yeah. He's definitely a bit more slippery and harder to gank, but...
Well, Al is now going to be up at the top lane. His entire team is behind him. I like this play. They're just kind of hiding and waiting for how to push up and letting him do all the work. But a tier 1 tower for a tier 2 mid, I don't know if this trade is great.
They might go for the tier 3, actually.
Yeah, they have exorcism with no glyph ready to go. I think this is LGD's time. And MMY, I mean, it's only book 1, but
yep, they're going to keep going.
Exorcism still going, Crypt Swarm blowing up the creep wave, Moose coming in as well. Still level 2 ultimate, in fact. Yeah, can't even hit level 12 yet. He's close. They have to back away. Acid Spray, they don't want to fight into that. How takes the tier 1 tower top? Will they rotate anybody over? They're all walking, but I'm sure somebody TPs for that.
And if you look how Newbee are playing, while the anti-mage is split pushing, they all have to go sit behind him because it's too easy for LGD to just rotate 2 or 3 heroes and kill How. So it's not as effective as if your anti-mage was just solo split pushing, because then he's creating space for all of your other heroes as well.
Yeah. I mean, they need Moo to get farm, but he can't get farm if he's sitting behind the anti-mage the entire time. Unless they're, you know, pushing a lane near the jungle or something along those lines. But I think that's what you have to do. You have to make sure How keeps himself safe. And you saw how fast he backed. I mean, they were essentially here in the river by the time he was here in the lane, you know. I mean, he was that quickly.
So it looks like Newbee are going to have the 4-man smoke squad with How farming up the jungle. Are they going to find Sylar in the mid lane?
I think Sylar might die. Stampede, Blink, Stomp, gonna go. Mystic Flare, they're gonna blow this guy up. He's dead. Great gank coming out. And LGD just talking up. They're like, yeah, that was a smoke of the sea gank. There's not much we can do about it. Well, to be fair, they didn't have any wards on the map, so they don't know if it was a smoke or not. Flame Break, Moose still going. Unstable Concoction, How wants to fight. And the call is to back, though, and they will try to go for the tier 1 tower. Glyph's gonna be popped, so they'll get their Glyph right back, even if they do take the tower. Moo's attack speed is... that is slow.
It's because he had the... he has a chilling touch on him.
Oh. Blink, Fire Blast coming in, Ignite as well in July. Can't find the last, so he gets Ancient Sealed, actually.
Middle tower
He'll be fine.
has fallen.
Yep. So Newbee able to secure another tier 1 tower for themselves, and How is almost at his Yasha. So in the last 3 minutes, he's completed a Vlad's and a Blade of Alacrity, and is about... oh, there goes the Yasha. So he's farmed up a Storm in the last 2 to 3 minutes.
Top of the net worth, and now you can even see the net worth chart or the net worth graph. It's back to about 4,000 in favor of LGD and climbing back to 0. So, yep. Again, I thought Newbee, they were playing well, but they had a couple of early ganks that really shut down How, but now they're just kind of letting him farm. But here comes the Firefly How. He doesn't have Blink. Last is going to go. They're going to bring him over to Faith. He is going to be on the low ground. Fire Blast is going to go as well. Can they get this kill? Telekinesis, do they have enough damage? He blinks away. The Ignite's not going to get the kill. He's so low, and he will stay alive. They just need... they need a core with them. I mean, besides in July to grab that kill, whether it's Sylar, whether it's the Death Prophet. I mean, that's a lot of damage, but it's not enough.
The problem is that it was all magical damage heroes ganking an anti-mage. Exactly. Spell shield at level 2. Just wasn't enough. Maybe if they had gotten the multicast on the stun, it could have been enough. And it looks like LGD are probably going to pick up this Roshan uncontested. I don't think that Newbee want a team fight in the Rosh pit area, not against the Exorcism.
No, they still need time. Exorcism's going to go out, and Newbee are rotating over, but I don't think they can... they're just going to back up now immediately. Sylar picks up the Aegis, and I think within the next 2 or 3 Roshans, if you're LGD, and maybe this is just me, you have to get something done. Otherwise, How is going to start becoming a force to be reckoned with, because... and manning up, Sylar doesn't really have the items yet. I mean, he doesn't even have his book 3. It is actually going to come out now, but he doesn't have as much farm as you would like on a Lycan.
Yeah, he does have the book 3 and the Vlads as well as the medallion, so he's not too far. And I mean, it's a really hard task to keep up with an anti-mage as a Lycan, so he's not doing too bad. He's only 1,000 gold behind. He's second on net worth. They do have 3 of the top 4, although as I say that, Alchemist is going to eclipse the Bat Rider. And I believe the later this, like I said, the later this game goes, I think that Newbee have the superior late game with the Alchemist and the Anti-Mage dual core. But that being said, Alchemist is going for more of these supporting items, as he has the Mechanism, the Medallion, the Face Boots, and the Sange, which could be built into the SNY or the Heaven's Halberd. I think both are okay. I think this will be an SNY game. As Heaven's Halberd doesn't give you that much. Like, you can put it on the Lycan, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like Heaven's Halberd is good in this situation just because of the Lycan, and that's shutting down a lot. I mean, you talk about just shutting down the Lycan, but I think that's more than enough. Although the Death Prophet Exorcism is going to be a problem, and SNY could help with that. So either choice, I think, is fine. And LGD are playing a pretty good game. Now can they just, with this Aegis, get something done here? They take down the tier 2 mid already. That was gone from their previous push. Tier 2 top is probably going to fall as well. Glyph's going to go, but the Necro Book is going to tear into this tower. And How is still split pushing bottom. And they should have a Glyph available there. Pop the Glyph. LGD, pop the Glyph. Oh, no.
Gonna get a ticket.
Yeah.
Didn't Glyph it.
Yeah.
In the new patch, too.
Didn't Glyph it. They get a ticket. That's right. Blink in. MMY jumping on Moot, Telekinesis, Spell Steal, no follow-up. Now the Force, Fire Blast coming out, Faith to the low ground, Ignite comes out as well. The Wolves, Shapeshift going through. Cancel, no, he's still going. Sylar is just running back home. They realize that the tier 2 tower is under pressure. TP coming in, and that'll be in from in July. Now How has to get away. They won't catch him. Firefly, How is going to just walk away, essentially, and get out for free. And he will have his Manta style completed if he wants to buy it. He might save for buyback, though, I think.
How is completely out of control at this point.
Yeah, he's jumping on Sylar. Yule Scepter is going to go. Yao's going to look for a silence. It does go, and they're going to try to fight. Ignite, Fire Blast going in. How taking some damage. Now the Exorcism going. It's back off cooldown in July. Mystic Flare, he will blow up. Meanwhile, Yao is looking for a target here. Who's going to go on? San Sheng. They want that kill. That's probably not going to be an issue. They're probably going to kill him with the Lycan Wolves. He's getting chased down, and he finally will fall. Now they're going to turn their attention to Lee. Lee's getting chased as well. Yao, Mystic Flare was stolen by MMY. What a player. They will get the one. Now How turns around. They're looking for Sylar, but the Unstable Concoction, he's in trouble. The Courier is nearby. Here comes MMY. Rabbit forces away. Spell Steal. MMY does have a blink, but now he blinks him to the high ground, and they cannot continue to chase. Manta is done for How. The fight goes in LGD's favor, but they only get 2 supports, and they really wanted How. They had a great silence, but the supporting cast of Newbee was right there to help them out.
Yeah. And Batrider unable to get the lasso to secure a kill on anyone. He got blown up by the... I think it was the Mystic Flare and the AA ult, and he just melted pretty quickly. But once he gets a BKB, that really won't be an issue, and he's going to be able to get his lasso off in all of these teamfights. So they do have a way to deal with How for a small period of time, assuming that his Manta's on cooldown, or if the Batrider can get him before he Mantas. I mean, optimally, How, as soon as the Batrider blinks, he'll just cast Manta so that the Batrider gets a bit confused and doesn't know which one's real.
Well, that's up to in July then. I mean, that's a play he has to make at that point. It's just tough. But, I mean, you're right. How is getting out of control, and he'll just continue to split push. And can he do enough before they try to take a tier 3 tower? His Aegis done
the Book 3 popped, the Howl, and they just do so much damage to these towers, even without the Exorcism.
Yao has Exorcism in 38, so they're...
Looks like this might be the base push.
Without Exorcism, they're going to go up to the high ground. They can maybe try to wait until Exorcism's back up. Cryptstorm's going to go. Sylar, there's the Acid Spray. How not TPing yet, but tier 3 tower, Unstable Concoction, great Telekinesis coming out onto Rabbit. And there's going to be the last one as well. Mech is up, but Rabbit is going to fall. Mystic Flare, Sylar still has the Aegis, and he might use it now, and it will. But he's back to full health. Rabbit down for 37 seconds, no buyback. And they're going to keep going, I think. Anti-Mage takes the tier 2 top, but they've got to try to force this.
They're going to get a Rex here, I think. I don't think this is defendable.
But How, he's still going, so he might be able to trade. Now, Telekinesis, Moo, he's stunned up as well. Is he going to stun himself? Yes, but he does stun MMY in the process, but he falls. BKB on Yao. Exorcism is going. Sylar forced out. How is defending rather well. He comes in, Mana Void. They tear down the Lycan, and they defend just fine. Force up. Now How's looking for Yao. Yule Scepter goes through the Fire Blast as well. And How takes literally no damage. Now they jump onto Faith. There's the double edge, and LGD are going to crumble at the feet of the base, and Faith will fall. LGD lose 3 heroes, and they might even lose 4 at this point. TPing out, Yao gets away. How had no Mana Void, but great defense from a Newbee.
So Rabbit was forced to buy back in that fight, as well as the Alchemist. So they used 2 buybacks. How did get the tier 2 top, and He does have 3,000 gold on top of his completed Mantis style, so I think the next push coming out from LGD is going to be very difficult for Newbee to defend, as they won't have buyback on either of the cores that aren't anti-mage. And Sylar will most likely have his BKB completed at that point.
Yeah.
So they'll have 2 BKBs and not enough buybacks for Newbee, I think, to defend the next push on the bottom lane.
These next couple of minutes are going to be, I think, make or break for both teams. If LGD doesn't push into the base, I think Hao gets too farmed. He's already pretty farmed.
But I think they're just going to go bottom again.
Yeah, they've been putting a lot of eggs in this bottom basket. Tier 3 tower is about to die, though. I mean, the creeps are already there, and they're doing some work on the tower. So we'll get even lower. Smoke of Deceit, and if you're a Newbie, you have to expect this coming, but Rabbit he's pretty out of position.
Oh, and if Rabbit dies here, that's
Hao is here
really
as well.
big.
Which one will they jump on? Firefly goes. They will have the vision. Which hero do they go for? Blink. Last one's going to be Rabbit. And Telekinesis is going to come soon. They don't need it. He's dead for 56. But by the time they get down bottom toward the racks, he might have 20 seconds.
About 15 to 20 seconds, of hitting the base. But honestly, that's enough with the Lycan. I mean, we saw him. That tower is at 354 HP at a 1600 after about 3 to 4 seconds of hitting it. So they don't need much time. And he does pick up the BKB, so I believe as soon as they get up there, the Lycan can just BKB, click Howl, use the Exorcism, BKB, and I think they might just be able to get a set of Rex.
Ice Blast is going to try to push it back, and it does some damage to the creep wave, but more so than anything, it's going to annoy LGD. Vit Booster's done for the Death Prophet. We already talked about the BKBs coming out. Anti-Mage, did he buy anything yet? Still at 5,000 gold. He's saving for a bit. He's going to save for buyback and maybe get his next item.
So 5 seconds until Rabbit is alive on the center. Let's see if they can get the...
What's going to go? Telekinesis. Moo is going to get stunned up yet again. This is a huge kill. He's down for 68 seconds with 0 buyback. That is big. They take down the tier 3 tower. How's going to get focused? There's going to be the Mantis Tile. Sylar. No Aegis this time, but he's going to man mode. Sylar has to back away. The Exorcism is still going. The Mantis Tile, they want to wait till the illusions are gone. The Wolves are going to take down one of the illusions. Ice Blast pushes them back. Now the Blink coming in. The Stomp from MMY. On to 2. Hao is low. Fire Blast comes in. Ignite as well. Hao is going to be dead. He does have buyback. He's got to use it. Beautiful play from MMY. They can't get the racks done, but what an initiation from MMY there on the Rubik. Beautiful.
And LGD smartly back away as they used all 3 BKBs on all of their cores, as well as the Exorcism and the Book 3 on cooldown, so not wanting to risk a throw inside of the base. And honestly, they're not in too much pressure right now. All of the buybacks on the cores of Newbee are on cooldown, so if they get a pick, they know that they can easily just go and get these bottom racks. And the Glyph is also on cooldown, so...
And they're going to find Roshan. He just respawned as well. The big guy is sitting in his cave, but they're not going just yet. I think they could if they wanted to, but maybe they're waiting for Exorcism.
It was a really fast respawn, so I'm not sure if they
can
are
send the Wolf
thinking about checking yet.
Wolf
it looks like they might send the Wolves right now.
And they're going to go back to the mid lane and maybe get ready for any sort of... Maybe they're thinking that they might smoke out of Newbee, but that'd be kind of dangerous. Newbee are just going to sit back and farm. Anti-Mage picked up a BKB, by the way. That was his next item after he had his buyback money. Yeah. But he's not going to get another item for a while.
Yeah, he used the BKB in that last fight.
Okay.
And he really needs it, just because if he gets stunned up by... There's just so much magic damage coming out that even the spell shield is not going to be enough. And then they have all these stuns from the Ogre and the Rubik, along with the silence from Death Prophet, which lasts 6 seconds, so there'd be too much time where he loses his mobility.
Double damage.
Oh, and Sylar picks up a double damage. So this Roche is gonna fall in a matter of seconds.
This is frightening. Look how fast this thing's dead. Oh my god, it's torn a new one. Sylar picks up the Aegis and the cheese now.
Oh, no one's picking up the cheese.
Faith's gonna go grab it real quick. So he'll have that. They're gonna defend top lane. And bottom is gonna be their choice now. I think with Aegis, with Exorcism as well, it's their go time essentially for LGD. There's really no reason not to, other than just having to push out top lane quickly. So
it's going to be very difficult for Newbee to hold this. That being said, I think if Newbee somehow managed to hold on to bottom racks, I think they still have a chance in this game. Even if they lose the bottom racks, as long as they don't lose too many heroes in the process or trade evenly, I think they might still be okay being a racks down in this game. They just can't afford to be 2 racks down, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, that would be a bit rough. That's just... At this point, LGD have played such a good game. They're going to find out poor Lin here, or Lee rather, and he is going to melt immediately. In July's Firefly looking for a lasso. He's going to find Sansheng. Unstable's going to go. They do force him back. Sansheng about to go down. 2 hits from Sylar is all that it takes, and now they have an open opportunity to go for racks, whether it's mid, whether it's bottom lane. They're pushing in mid first. Top lane Rabbit is going. He has not a lot of health. He actually has to go back home and heal. Meanwhile, they're trying to take the bottom tier 2 down for How. He's going to grab it. He's actually doing a really nice job of split pushing. They have to TP back, though. Glyph is not available, however. Or actually, it is for LGD, so they're going to go bottom, and now Sylar is just going to walk up to the high ground here. There's the Necro going, and they have no Glyph as well. This is going to be your first set of racks. How's going to try to trade. He might get TP'd on here. We'll see what they decide to do. They might just go for the tier 4 towers. They are absolutely going to go do it. LGD, Sylar going right now. He does have the Aegis still. BKB now. They blink and stop. Yao avoids it immediately. Sylar, his Aegis is going to go. Now, the Exorcism is still flying. Moo's getting pushed back as well. How has rotated over. The tier 4 tower, the first one's dead. Will they keep going? Faith is going to fall. Moo jumping in. Unstable Concoction. Great Yule Scepter coming out, but the Exorcism is now done. They go instead for the tier 3 tower. A bit too much, a bit greedy trying to go for those tier 4s. Sylar trying to man up. LGD have to back away. They didn't get any kills in that fight. How is going to work on Sylar? Sylar's going to die yet again, and that's a double kill for How as they push down mid. Great fight from How and Newbee to make sure that they don't lose the game immediately there. And I think they killed that tier 4 because How was taking the set of racks, and he did take the tier 3 down bottom. And now he's chasing after Yao. Yao's going to live.
So they are able to secure the bottom racks. I think it was a bit of a mistake to go for the tier 4s.
Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
As How tries to make a play. And How might just get this bottom racks by himself.
He is going to. At the very least, the melee racks he's going to grab. He might even grab. They have no buyback for the like, and that's the issue here. That's actually just a huge play. Newbee with one fell swoop, even up the racks lead. They can't take the mid lane because of the tier 2 tower there, but yeah, what a disaster for LGD. They were so far ahead, and then they just make one misplay, I think. And now it's going to be difficult.
The problem was going for these tier 4s is that they didn't really have a route of escape. After they took that one tier 4 and they started attacking the other one and then they got initiated on, they walked through the other tier 3 in the mid lane. So they had to walk through all these tier 2 and tier 4 towers to get out of the base, and they just took too much damage.
Yeah, I really don't know what they were thinking there, but at the same time,
I mean, sometimes you just think that you can end the game or get more than you can, and then you pay the price.
Well, the price was a set of racks. This is a pretty steep price to pay.
Yeah.
They do have an Assault Cuirass. They also have a Shiva's Guard as well. And LGD, they're running right into the team. There's going to be a Mantis-style Angel. I can't get the lasso off. They're going to fight, but Rabbit jumps on MMY. This is a huge fight for Newbee. Rabbit's low, but the lasso does go up onto Moo. He's going to be up on the high ground. Here comes the Exorcism. They're chasing after Lin. They will get a kill, but the double kill coming out. How? Getting manned up on. He does have minute to blink, and he's going to have to blink away. Oh, God. LGD lose 2. Newbee lose only the 1. Moo might go down here. He is on the high ground, mind you. They have to back away. Newbee is going to force down Moo onto the low ground into the river, backing up towards their ancient stack, and that's a butterfly now done for the anti-mage. And Assault Cuirass came out and did a lot of work in that fight for LGD, but it's just not enough. And now Exorcism is down for 100 and some odd seconds. What a disaster.
So this is actually going to be really hard for LGD now. That being said, I think if they win one team fight, I mean, you can see how much damage they can just do to these buildings. So if they're able to claim one team fight victory, I think they can just end the game. But it's going to be very difficult. And now that Newbee aren't really bound by their ult cooldowns like LGD are. LGD really have to wait for this Exorcism to be up as well as the Book 3. And without them, they can't really take engagements against Newbee.
Blink. Moo's not going to get lassoed up. The Shapeshift did go, but he's actually going to live. And I agree with you. This gives Newbee a lot more free reign. They don't have to just say, hey, we have to wait for this ultimate, we have to wait for this. Maybe itemization they have to wait for. They have to wait for certain items to come out, especially for the anti-mage, but I don't think that's really that big of an issue either. They're also just getting how so farmed. He is, let's see, 1 item away from 6 slot. He just needs bots at this point, and he's 6 slot. And maybe he can sell the Vlads as well and have someone else pick that up, but...
he'll sell the Vlads eventually, probably for a heart.
At that point, he's 6 slotted. Look at the smoke of DC coming out. No wards to spot this out, and Newbee are going to walk straight down mid. This could be a big engagement, and maybe one that wins the game because his buyback status, it's not really there. They have the Bat Rider with it and Faith, and that's it. So Lycan goes down again. He needs like 2 or 3 more creeps to get buyback, and he's not there yet. And especially, yeah, he has no buyback either. But this could be dangerous. I mean, Newbee, they're going to ward up to their enemy jungle. And more so than anything, that's all they're really getting out of this smoke trip is the wards in the enemy jungle. All right.
And it looks like LGD are just playing smartly as a group of 5, not splitting up. So because no one on Newbee is showing, they're not split pushing any of the lanes. How finally shows in the top lane. So
more fuel for the
they're going to push down mid for LGD. And How, like you said, he's up top. They're going to try to push down top. Maybe secure another set of racks. The tier 2 mid's still there. LGD are doing a nice job of keeping this tower. This has been a very good game. LGD, at 40 minutes in, they've taken a set of racks. They're very close to taking the game, but they are going to jump on Sylar. No, Rabbit does miss the stomp onto Sylar. Firefly from in July. Unstable Concoction going to go. BKB, they last hope Rabbit. Can they get the kill? Exorcism is going to go. And Rabbit is going to fall immediately. He will have buyback. Now How has to back away Shiva's guard. They're chasing after How. No bash or anything to stop him from going. How's going to blink, but now he's in trouble. He does pick up the Stampede. They did buy back on Rabbit. They will lose Lin. Up in the air, the Yule Scepter onto Sansheng. He's going to fall as well. He does go Scepter the Urn Charge. He's not going to fall. And they will chase after him with the Necro Book, but he's still alive. Unstable Concoction, going to stun up Moo. And now LGD back away. Again, they'll have to wait for the cooldown coming up from Exorcism. They force out Rabbit's buyback. Another great initiation from LGD as Rabbit misinitiates. And they'll wait for Roche, I think, too.
Yeah, and I think that was a good fight from LGD. They do force the buyback from Rabbit, so he will not have that in the next fight. But as long as the anti-mage is not being forced to buyback, I think Newbee are fine with these trades, because as soon as he gets the heart, I think he's almost at unkillable status. They're not going to have an MKB on the Lycan anytime soon, so he's not going to be able to do adequate damage to the anti-mage, even if he's locked down from these disables. And who else is going to do damage to the anti-mage besides the Exorcism?
I don't think anybody, really. I mean, even if you steal a spell from MMY, he's got BKB. So How is... Yeah, the heart is really the item that's going to push him over the top, I think. And with that, they've gotten close a couple of times with Sylar killing him. Even with the butterfly, though. So that's the thing. I mean, like, it just comes down to positioning. Can they make sure that he doesn't have enough mana to blink? I mean, they've mana burned with the usage of the Necro Warrior, or Necro Archer, rather. They silence, but again, BKB is just going to, you know, Mantis style as well is going to not be an issue, so. How is, he's getting to be unkillable. He's having a good game, as he most usually does.
Yep.
And now they're putting aggression. They're across the river. They want to control the Roche pit now. They realize that Roshan, well, it's up, actually. Exorcism is still down for a minute. And
yeah, we might see the next team fight happen at Roshan. I'm not sure that Newbee just want to give away another Roshan for free. Because even though they're so ahead, and Anti-Mage actually goes for the Basher. I think this is a bit greedier, but if he is able to finish the Abyssal, and honestly, he hasn't been dying in these fights, so why not just go for the more aggressive item build?
I like it, actually. Sylar won't be able to just roam free and man-fight him, essentially. They're not taking Roche. They want to counter the wards quickly. LGD, this is the problem, though. They could take this so quickly without Exorcism as well. I mean, it's down for 20 seconds. I think this is just going to die, and this is going to be another Roshan that Newbee have to put up with. Yep. And they outlast a 4th Aegis and a Cheese. I don't know. This could be it. But if Newbee win this fight, I think they probably take the game. Again, there's a lot of intangibles and a lot of variables that...
I mean, How does have a buyback. So they do have buyback on How and Moo. So even though... I mean, it's basically going to be a 7 versus 7 if they fight inside of Newbee's base.
I think... if they can get that mid set of racks for LGD, that's going to help so much. They just can't.
I mean, if they are able to force the buybacks out of Newbee, and they catch out, let's say, How or Moo, if they win one fight outside of the base, I mean, they can just kill. They can kill the tier 4 in the throne within seconds. So if they're ever given an opportunity to win a fight, the game just ends pretty quickly from that point.
Do you think that Death Prophet builds a refresher this game at some point if it goes long enough?
Yeah, after the heart, or yeah, probably. Maybe he doesn't even go heart actually.
Yeah.
I think Hex might be better this game.
I don't know if he's not really died. He's got only 3 deaths to his name. That's not bad. And the times
maybe
he did
Hex
fall,
and
he got caught
refresher.
out. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'd be okay with the straight up refresher, but I don't think that's going to be the case. They need some lockdown and ways to just make sure
Yeah, I think having 2 hexes in these fights would be pretty huge.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see. They smoke up though.
But he would be. I mean, he's really far from that point, so this game would have to go on for like another 20 minutes.
Yeah, 60-minute game. I could see that for sure. But at that point, Hal maybe becomes so big that he just takes the game in his own right. But there's a lot before that.
Cal can only really get this Abyssal, and then he's maxed.
You talked about it. I mean, you can only get so farmed in an anti-mage. There are better hard carries in the late game, but that's it. He's got the Abyssal Blade, plus he has buyback. But there's the MKB. This is what you were talking about for the Lycan. He doesn't have buyback. He will have Aegis, but this is going to be a man fight for the Aegis. If Hao gets the Abyssal Blade off onto Sylar, I think they can take that fight. But now Sylar with an MKB, he really is a couple right clicks away from killing Hao and bringing him down and forcing him to buy back. And they're going to push straight down mid. This is their go time. Exorcism is ready. Shiva's Guard as well. They're going to counter the ward. Moo's going to try to put up the acid spray, and the Assault Cuirass is going to tear through these buildings. They do have the glyph. There's going to be the glyph coming out. Immediate usage of that halberd. That'll be under the Lycan. Exorcism still tearing through. Moo backed up it as well. He still has the Chemical Rage. And jump in from Rabbit. He's going to stop. Mystic Flare. Gets forced up as well. Now Blake Lasso onto Rabbit. He will not have buyback, and he's going to fall. Rabbit is about to take a spill. Now Hao comes in, blows up the Aegis. Yao gets Abyssal Bladed. He's in trouble. There's the Mana Void. Now Sylar, he might shapeshift here. They're going to back away. Great fight from Hao. Great kill. They take the tier 3 tower down. Now they jump in. Blake stop from MMY again. Hao fire blasted up. Forced away. Can they kill him once? They cannot. They will chase him down. There's the kill. Dominating spree for Sylar. The buyback forced. And now they're okay with that. They back away. MMY, he is the one that is winning this game for LGD almost every time. God.
And MMY actually stole Mana Void at the end of that fight. But yeah, I mean, MMY is actually... He's getting off better stomps than the Centaur is currently. And... it's mostly because it's not so expected when it comes from the Rubik. When you're playing against a Centaur, you know, you're very cognizant about not grouping up in that small AoE of the Hoof Stomp because it is a very long duration and powerful stun.
Yeah.
But when it's on the side of the Rubik, maybe they aren't exactly sure what spell he has or when he's stealing it.
Well, there's
and
zero
the fights are
point,
chaotic. Right? Yeah, and the fights, and there's no cast point.
The animation's immediate, so they can't necessarily dodge it.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing, too. And you're right. I mean, he is getting better stomped off than the Centaur is. Shapeshift for Sylar. Are they going to push down mid? Firefly? They were looking for a kill. Yao's back up. He won't have Exorcism for another 40, but... that was a...
it doesn't really matter. I mean, the duration... the cooldown's only 60 seconds, so...
not a big deal.
I mean, it used to be 40, which was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absurd. They changed that, thank God, but... they're going to push down. I mean, Sylar doesn't have Aegis anymore. He will have buyback, but this might be a bit greedy. There's the Assault Cuirass. That might be enough. But Newbee, if they lose anti-mage again, this game I think is over.
Yeah, they finally mitigate the Assault Cuirass advantage for LGD. LGD still have a cheese available on tough. Yao. I wonder if they'll pass it along to Sylar. It doesn't look like they're going to do that.
Do you think they go here? Do you think they fight this or go up to the high ground?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I don't know. I was just expecting them to maybe farm more or something, but Newbee they have everybody up. Buyback status for Newbee, just the one on Moo. And they won't have anybody else for a while either. So if they kill anybody, they're down for a period of time with the exception
I don't think LGD want to extend this game because they've got pretty much the 6th slot on Sylar. I mean, he can trade the Vlads and the Book for more late game carry items, but if he does that, then Alchemist starts getting more farm, and he's going to start building more towards these carry items. I mean, his first 3 item pickups were not really carry-based, but he just picked up the AC. He's probably going to move towards maybe a Mjolnir, possibly even a Basher, and then Moo can start transitioning into that carry in the late game to be alongside Hao. So
that's the thing, is that although Anti-Mage is 6-slotted at this point with the exception of bots, they still have room for Moo to grow. I guess the same could be said for Yao for LGD, but again, that really comes to a refresher orb, and that's about it. But maybe another big item for in July.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yao's damage is linked to the Exorcism, and Exorcism is not going to get any stronger. So
again, not without a refresher orb. That's that's really it.
And I think refresher would actually maybe just win LGD the game, but it looks like he's going to go for the heart. I don't actually agree with this because...
Oh no, Rabbit, this is not a good place to get picked off. Fire Blast is going to go. He has Stampede. There's the Mana Void. He BKBs up to the high ground. He's going to try to TP away. Faith Ghost Scepters. Rabbit cancels his TP. They want to fight. Faith is going to get caught out of position. Mystic Flare. How does that turn that poorly for LGD? Newbee take a free one. That's a freebie.
Faith was like, please force me down, someone. And I checked all of his teammates. They all had Force on cooldown. Because if you look, he like went towards the cliff and like pointed his hero towards the downslope.
Yeah.
But no one had a Force staff for him. Pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, that was bad. Where was the damage? I guess they couldn't...
They just didn't have any of their cores there. So Sylar wasn't there to hit Rabbit, and either was the Death Prophet. So they just couldn't bring down Rabbit with the 2 supports and the Bat Rider.
And I think even if Sylar was there, he just forces up to the high ground like he did. And I think he survives.
Yeah.
So... Close.
So BKB Force, but that's about it.
I thought that was going to be the kill that won LGD the game, but I guess I'm wrong. Buyback status, it's starting to come back up for a couple of the heroes on Newbee. They are a couple hundred gold away from both San Shang as well as, Lee as well as Rabbit. So, again, you have to understand also, this is Newbee playing with the stand-in. Again, it's on a support, so... at this point in the game, I don't know how much it matters. Maybe if it was Banana, he would have an Aghanim Scepter at this point in time. But I don't know. That's a distinction that I can't really make.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it definitely hurts their team dynamic and probably their early game. But at this point, I mean, it's just so hard to tell what the effect would be if Banana was playing or not. Mm-hmm. I think AA has actually had a pretty decent game. He hasn't died too much, and they were under a lot of pressure early game, so...
Oh. Another Roshan? The 5th, maybe? Is that in the cards?
Could be. I mean, it's going to spawn in about a minute. But it looks like LGD are just going to walk down the mid lane, but Newbee do smoke. And they might try to smoke around and catch LGD off guard.
There's 3 buybacks coming out. Blink Stomp's about to go. It will go Rabbit. Now How BKB's up as well, and they're going to try to fight on Sylar. Rabbit's falling low. Abyssal Blade goes on 1. I think that's on in July. Sylar's still going to work. He's looking for Rabbit. If Rabbit goes down, big play. 2 dead now on Newbee. They're looking for Moo as well. They take down the support. Moo now in trouble. He will have buyback. The Halberd did go. Moo getting chased down. Chemical Rage keeping him fighting fit. Now How's going to work. Sylar has to back away. Now How's in trouble. No BKB. Mana Void. How's dead for 128 seconds with no buyback. LGD, I think they secure the victory with one huge team fight. Yao and Sylar, such men. MMY's jumping forward. He's looking for Moo. Fire Blast, long range from Faith. The Ignite, Moo. He has no chemical rage. He might die. Just to the right click. There's going to be a Crypt Storm. He goes down. Faith gets the kill. They go for the tier 4 towers. And LGD, with an impressive display, 51 minutes in. Game number 1 is theirs. What a game, man.
Radiant's Ancient is under
Yep.
attack.
Really well played by LGD. Quick reactions on the BKB by both Yao and Batrider to make sure that they didn't get caught out from the stun by Rabbit. And yeah, they pretty much won the fight after that. Rabbit, pretty on the initial initiation, it looked like he was going to get a 3-man stomp, but 2 people with quick BKB reactions, and he was only able to get 1 of them. And then LGD, just playing a really well-executed team fight, are able to pick up the anti-mage in the end. And How, with no buyback, they weren't able to do anything after How goes down. So, well played by LGD. It was a bit scary for them at some points in the game when I believe How was pushing bottom, and then they went for the tier 4s, and then they just sort of all died, and then How just blinked back bottom, and then he just secured a Rax, so they just traded a Rax for a Rax against an anti-mage.
It's kind of questionable at that point.
Yeah.
It's a bit iffy for LGD whether or not they would take this game. But Salar, Yao, and the rest of LGD's squad, especially MMY, had a fantastic game. They'll take game number 1. It's a best-of-3 series again, so we'll see who does come out on top in next game. So game 2 is coming up shortly. Newbee versus LGD here for NEST 2014. Again, this is HighGroundTV. Make sure you follow us at twitch.tv/HighGroundTV with all of the action coming up, including the grand finals tomorrow. Check us out. Of course, my name's Maut. You can follow me at twitter.com/MautDota. With me is F4L. Check him out at twitter.com/F4LDota. Ticket in the store, National Electronic Sports Tournament 2014, $6.99. Comes with a Ember Spirit set. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a second, guys. Stick around.